All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Day's Explainer, where we're going to investigate the mechanics of a massive, highly sophisticated digital heist. We are looking at a recently uncovered cybersecurity threat that is actively targeting business systems right this very second. It's stealthy, it's incredibly effective, and honestly, it bypasses the exact alarms we rely on to keep our network safe. We are talking about a completely new, totally invisible malware framework. Now, before we begin, please press the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps us out, and it guarantees you'll never miss out on these deep dives into the mechanics of the digital world.
Because as cybersecurity researchers have pointed out, attacks like this are becoming far more advanced, exposing operations to major financial and security risks. And that right there, that is the core reality of our modern digital landscape. The stakes have literally never been higher. We aren't just dealing with those old, crude viruses that lock up your screen anymore. No, we're dealing with silent, persistent threats that just drain value from an organization without anyone noticing until it's way, way too late. And the specific threat we're breaking down today, it absolutely exemplifies this new era of danger.
Let's move into Section 1. Meet the Deep Door Threat.
So, back in early 2026, researchers stumbled onto something pretty alarming. They uncovered a Python backdoor that operates with just this unbelievable level of stealth. This isn't your everyday malware. It's a highly specialized framework designed to quietly slide into business systems and just sit there, collecting whatever it needs. And this whole nightmare begins with the perfect disguise. You might think a sophisticated Python backdoor requires some crazy cinematic hacking sequence to get in, right? But DeepDoor acts like a total wolf in sheep's clothing. It arrives as a simple batch script, or maybe a file that looks exactly like a legitimate deployment tool or software installer. The scariest part of this malware is honestly just how completely ordinary it appears. I mean, it looks like something a professional would forward in a standard internal vendor email or a file you might just casually find sitting in a shared drive. It is basic looking enough to fool everyday employees, and yes, for sure, even seasoned IT staff.
Section 2. Anatomy of the attack. So, how does this disguised file actually compromise a secure network? Well, it's essentially a smash-and-grab operation, but perfectly calculated. Step 1. A user, totally thinking they're just doing their job, executes that legitimate-looking batch script. Now, normally, if a rogue script tries to do damage, your system's defenses would be screaming at you. But look at Step 2. DeepDoor immediately disables Windows security controls. It completely sidesteps detection by taking down the security camera, so to speak, before it even enters the vault. Then, and only then, in Step 3, it extracts and deploys its Python-based payload. And because the security is disabled, 0 alerts are flagged. The entire system is compromised, and IT doesn't even know what happened.
Section 3. The stealth tunneling technique.
All right, so once DeepDoor is inside and that payload is deployed, it needs a way to talk to the attackers and send them your data, right? And this brings us to stealth tunneling. This creates a massive risk for any system containing sensitive information. The easiest way to wrap your head around this is to imagine a bank robber trying to escape. Instead of fleeing in some conspicuous speeding getaway car that the cops would spot in 2 seconds, the robber hides the getaway car in the middle of a massive, slow-moving parade. Stealth tunneling does exactly this, but for data. It hides malicious command and control communications right inside legitimate-looking network channels. The malicious traffic just blends right in with everyday business internet traffic.
You see, traditional firewalls are built to monitor for the obvious threats. They're looking for recognized bad IP addresses or maybe massive unusual spikes in data. But DeepDoor's tunneling completely bypasses those traditional firewalls because it hides within legitimate network noise. It makes it incredibly hard, almost impossible, for IT systems to flag these outbound connections as unusual. To your firewall, it just looks like normal web browsing or standard cloud syncing. The getaway car just rolls right on past the security checkpoint.
Section 4. Stealing your digital keys.
Okay, so the malware is in, the security is totally blind, and the getaway tunnel is wide open. What exactly is the loot here? Well, this is where the Python backdoor credential theft becomes extremely damaging, especially for businesses running on Windows. DeepDoor doesn't just want one specific password. No, it is a broad harvesting system. It's targeting browser passwords, cloud authentication tokens, SSH keys, and a whole array of other system credentials. Think of it as a multi-vector collection engine. Adversaries use this backdoor to simultaneously extract sensitive information from multiple sources all at once. And with these keys, attackers can easily log right into your private business portals, your email, and your cloud-based systems. It is fully capable of compromising an organization's entire infrastructure from just a single infected machine.
Section 5. How to defend your network.
Okay, I know, everything we just went through sounds literally terrifying. A stealthy, invisible threat that disables your security and just walks away with the keys to the kingdom. But here's the good news for businesses trying to defend against this network tunneling technique. You don't actually need to completely revamp your entire IT infrastructure. Taking proactive security measures right now can drastically reduce your exposure. These are simple practices, but they pack a major punch, especially for small businesses. First and foremost, remove local administrator rights from basic user accounts. Just think back to step 2 of the attack, disabling Windows security. If a user doesn't have admin rights, the malware actually can't disable those security features. The attack stops dead right there. Second, stop storing passwords in browsers. Migrate over to a professional password manager with a master password and multi-factor authentication to shut down that browser harvesting. Next, restrict the execution of batch and script files. If your users don't absolutely need them to do their jobs, block them entirely. And hand in hand with that, train your team to strictly avoid opening batch files or script attachments from unknown sources, whether that's via shared links or an email. And finally, make sure you regularly rotate those SSH keys and cloud authentication tokens to reduce the risk of extraction.
Because businesses that ignore the risks of Python backdoor credential theft, they may face some really severe consequences. We're talking stolen credentials, unauthorized cloud access, and crippling long-term operational disruption. We've seen just how easily Deepdoors slips right past the radar and exactly how devastating its multi-vector collection engine can be. So you really need to step back, look at your own operational security, and ask yourself, is your business ready for a stealth attack?